Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I thought I'd talk about versatility in the NBA. So the first thing is to distinguish between a versatile player and a versatile team. So two types of versatility. So first, let me just touch on a versatile player. So a versatile player is a player that offensively can pass, dribble, shoot, and play off ball. And these types of players are very important. All the stars can do all these things, but most of them, like players like Steph and KD, if you just think about their versatility, their ability to handle the ball, their ability to pass the ball, and their ability to shoot, as well as move off ball. I would say a versatile player, and this is more thing for role players, as if a player is really good, you're going to build your team around them, but their ability to play in different systems. And a guy that comes to mind is just Klay Thompson. Like, what team would Klay Thompson not improve and not fit in well with because of his ability to shoot the ball and defend and then move off ball, and then he can do a little bit off the dribble in terms and passing. So that's sort of versatility offensively, just the ability to pass, dribble, shoot, and play off ball. And then defensively, what we think about is the ability to guard multiple positions. Very few players can do that. Only a few, like Ben Simmons or Giannis or Draymond Green, but a lot of players can guard 1 through 4. Like almost all of the elite perimeter defenders, guys like Kawhi Leonard and Marcus Smart and guys like that. And then there's also some bigs who can guard 4s and 5s and then sometimes 3s, like Anthony Davis. You're not dying if he's switched on to a 3, and that's really important in terms of versatility. And that plays into team versatility in the ability to switch or to play different defensive schemes, because if you have a player like Ben Simmons or Giannis, you can switch them off ball, you can have them protect the paint, you can have them play help defense, you can have them out on the perimeter, and that really helps the team as it gives them a lot of options. So that sort of versatility in terms of players. Offensively, the ability to pass, dribble, shoot, and then defensively, the ability to guard multiple positions and play in different schemes and systems. So if we talk a little bit about team versatility, and first I'd like to distinguish between a team being versatile and a team having an identity, because a team can have both of these. And a great example is last year's Lakers, which is a team that I'm going to be talking about as they won the championship. With identity, it's something like that stays the same all the time. And just for an example, last year with the Lakers, it was defense. From day one, they were playing good defense, and their team was built off of defense and playing hard on defense. Everyone was contributing, and the tone was being set by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So that's sort of an identity. With the Warriors, with KD, those Warriors, not these Warriors. Their identity was ball movement. They were always moving the ball and moving off ball, and that was something that they always did. They could play different systems, but that always stayed the same. Same with the Lakers. They could play different systems, but their identity was always playing good defense. So if we talk about team versatility, it's really the ability to adapt to the opponent and to play different ways and different play styles. And there's two ways of doing this. You can have versatile players, so players who, as I said, on offense can pass, dribble, and shoot and play different ways defensively. Or you can have specialists, and you can have different lineups which can play well in different ways. So like the Lakers, they could play big if they had Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee with Anthony Davis and LeBron. They could have more playmaking if they brought in Rondo and Caruso. They could have more shooting with guys like KCP and Anthony Davis at center to space the floor. They could really play in a variety of different ways because they had specialists who could play in different ways. And, if they didn't want too much playmaking and want more spacing, they'd just take Rondo out and put in KCP or Danny Green. And that allowed them to be versatile and play in different ways against different teams. And then another way is to have versatile players, and that's sort of the Houston Rockets last year. obviously they made the Capella trade to space the floor and to be able to switch defensively so they could play in different ways. So that's sort of an example of just having versatile players. And every team has versatile players, so it's also a bit on the coaching staff, letting these guys play different ways and adapting to the opponent. And that's where the Bucks have struggled in recent years. But it's really where the Lakers shined, as they had the identity playing good defense, and they had the versatility with their role players and the ability to play small, the ability to play big, the ability to have more playmaking, more shooting, just all that type of thing. So I think that shows that versatility is important. And, the Clippers, they sort of had it, but didn't really have it like the Lakers, as the Lakers just had a good amount of specialists, and just they had guys like LeBron and Anthony Davis who are very versatile players with their skill sets. So just sort of to conclude, or the last phase is just like, how important are these things? And I would say they're pretty important. To touch on the identity, having an identity is huge. You'll struggle to find a championship team that didn't have a certain identity. Obviously with the Lakers it was defense. With the Raptors, they're also committed to playing good defense. And then the Warriors, they had the ball movement. The Cavs, if you think back to them, their identity was really just spacing the floor out and letting LeBron and Kyrie do their things. The Spurs also had great ball movement. Just that type of thing. So identity is definitely big, but versatility is also very important. And I think you can have both of those things, as I talked about with the Lakers, because they played good defense, but they are also a versatile team. Another thing is versatility makes you less predictable, and predictable teams have gotten bounced in the playoffs. If you look at the Bucks, if you look at the Rockets, these are all teams that are fairly predictable, and especially with the Rockets, that play a certain way, which is just all threes and all layups, which just means that they're not going to shoot the mid-range, so you don't really have to worry about that. You only have to worry about their three-point shooting and then their ability to get inside. And then with the Bucks, it was more defensively they're too predictable, but a bit with Giannis was too predictable. But defensively they always did the same thing, which was drop coverage. And if the offense knows what the defense is doing, they can build around that and make sure to expose that, as the Heat did. Just running pick and rolls and dribble handoffs for Duncan Robinson, and they weren't switching those, the Bucks. And if you give Duncan Robinson like an inch of space, he can hit a three. So that really hurt the Bucks and was a huge part of the reason why they got eliminated so early and failed to meet expectations. So versatility makes you less predictable, and it also lets you adapt to certain matchups, and that was big with the Lakers. In some series, like against the Rockets, they didn't play Dwight or JaVale McGee much, and they went for Anthony Davis at center to cope with the Rockets' offense. And they still had a mismatch because Anthony Davis is just a beast. But then against the Nuggets, a team with Nikola Jokic, who's a bit bigger, they had Dwight Howard play quite a bit, and that was really important. And then like the first round against the Blazers, they were focused more on perimeter defense because they have players like Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. So it's really the ability to match up against different teams, and that helps teams a lot because you can sort of catch teams off guard, and you become harder to game plan for, and you can expose the opposition's weakness. So just to conclude, identity and versatility, very important. Just identity obviously huge, and then just with the ability to have players who can pass, shoot, and dribble and switch defensively, it gives you a lot of versatility. Or you can have specialists like the Lakers did. So both those things very important, and a key thing that I look for when thinking of what team could win the championship. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys.